Welcome back to Red Sox Digest. I'm here to break down all of the new updates surrounding Juan Soto and the Boston Red Sox, as now we have a really good idea of when Soto is going to make the big decision on which team he's going to play for next season and what that should result in for the rest of the MLB for the rest of this offseason, as it seems like it is going to be a fireworks show immediately following Juan Soto's decision. So we're going to break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest. But first, remember, if you're a part of the 83% currently watching this video, not currently subscribed to the channel, please scroll down, click the subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. You guys have been killing it as of late, so thank you guys so very much for all the love and support. We do appreciate it a ton. So again, thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down these massive Juan Soto and Red Sox updates. As again, it seems like we've discussed this in the past, but again, the Red Sox being buyers and just making the attempt and effort, at least up to this point, to go out and acquire someone like Juan Soto is, in my opinion, a win. Now, am I saying we're the winners of the offseason, regardless if we get Juan Soto because of the effort we put out there? Absolutely not. Please do not think that. We need to go out there and make a massive splash, whether it's Juan Soto and other pieces, or if we miss out on Juan Soto, we need to go out there and try to acquire all of the big name pieces to fill the voids that we so desperately have, or desperately need to fill, I should say, and that be the starting rotation, adding a few more left-handed arms, whether it be in the rotation or coming out of the bullpen, and then, again, the right-handed bat conversation that we've had multiple times through this point of the offseason. But now that we have an idea of when Juan Soto is actually going to determine and make up his mind on this deal, it seems like once that happens, we should see a fireworks show. And I mean that seriously, because obviously Juan Soto, without a doubt, there's no conversation about it, is the biggest domino to fall this offseason. He's the biggest piece of this puzzle throughout the entirety of the MLB this offseason. He's a generational talent. He's 26 years old. He has a long career ahead of him. And again, he is in a class of a very, very small amount of other players due to the talent level as well as potential that he still has as just being Juan Soto up to this point in his career, already winning a World Series ring, already being in another World Series championship game or series. And again, big moment after big moment, big swing after big swing, and just being the guy, being the character that everyone loves as well as the player that everyone loves. And again, this is why he is going to be the biggest domino to fall. And once we see this happen, whether he lands in Boston, whether he lands in either New York market, whether it be the Yankees or the Mets, if he goes to another AL East rival in the Blue Jays, whoever it may be, or even the Dodgers, whoever it may be, whoever the lucky suitor may be at the end of this. And again, we think that may be Monday night at the absolute latest, because again, winter meetings are going to start, and when that happens, it seems like we are going to get an answer to this Juan Soto saga finally. But again, with that happening, we are going to see a just an explosion of other things go on this offseason amongst pitchers, other big names, other free agents that want to get their offseason started, but due to the amount of value and the amount of focus Juan Soto is taking up amongst these big market teams, it seems like other big name players and big name pieces of this offseason are waiting to really start their offseason. Want to see, hey, where is Juan Soto going to go? If you're Pete Alonso, am I going to be teammates with Juan Soto, or am I trying to test the market and try to go elsewhere and push myself to Houston or to these other powerhouse teams that could possibly pay me a boatload of money to come join a team and possibly contend for a fall classic? Again, these are big name questions, and it's not just Pete Alonso. The list goes on. There are Willie Adames. Then obviously you get into the pitching match or the pitching names: Corbin Burns, Max Fried. It goes on and on again. And again, I think we're going to see it all pop off right after Monday night when we get the decision from Juan Soto. So to quote Tyler Milliken, or to cite Tyler Milliken on Twitter, who is then quoting and citing Sean McAdam, who did speak to Craig Breslow about the Juan Soto speculation and really the offseason in general for the Red Sox. Breslow went on to say this, and I quote, "I think the one thing we want to avoid is putting ourselves in a position where the success of our offseason hinges on a single transaction, because there's just too much uncertainty around any of that. We have to be consistently think about, quote, okay, this is plan A, but if this falls through, what does plan B look like? And what does plan C look like? And so on," end of quote. Noted, it's time to deliver, and letting one player decide the outcome of the offseason isn't good enough. And again, this is a massive piece of information from Breslow. He's fully aware of what's going on in the situation that he's playing. Now, this is obviously hard to believe, and it's hard to get on the page of this Red Sox organization and really the management, the ownership, and everyone involved with it, because we've seen how the last handful of years went. I mentioned it's been 10 years. It's probably been longer than that, because there was a time, and I don't know if you guys were Red Sox fans at the time, but again, you can go back and you can look through all the times and all the documentaries, whatever you may choose. But again, the Red Sox used to go back and forth with the Yankees. Like, they would bid on someone, we would bid on someone. Hey, you're not just going to steal this guy from us in division. It's not going to happen. Because of that, they were competitive. We were competing. We were going back and forth. Obviously, a lot of those years, the Yankees did win first place in the AL East, and it sucked. Yes, but we were right there with them, competing year after year after year. And then the big brother effect really took into place, and we started to get bullied a little bit. And then we saw things like Bogarts go to the Padres, and then we saw Mookie obviously land in LA, and it was like, is Boston getting soft, and are we just going to get hassled and bullied by these New York Yankees for the time being? And it seems like now, with going out and trying to acquire Juan Soto, and going out and making a deliberate push to go out and get Juan Soto, to not only steal him from the New York Yankees, but from the Mets and from the Blue Jays, two other in-division teams in the Yankees and the Blue Jays. This would be huge for the Red Sox, not only because you'd be taking them away from other teams that are immediate contenders and immediate competition to the Red Sox, but again, you'd be making the Red Sox, you'd be skyrocketing the really idea behind the team. Obviously, without Juan Soto, we have a very, very, very well put together team. But again, if you add Juan Soto to any team in the MLB, that immediately changes the entire landscape of what their season coming forward looks like, due to what Juan Soto is and what he brings to your team every single game in and game out. And again, I love the idea that Breslow is not only making the effort, and the rest of this Red Sox organization behind the scenes are making the effort to go out and try to acquire Juan Soto, but also being smart enough and being open-minded enough to have the perspective to look and see the entire field. Hey, we're not going to put all of our eggs in one basket here and live and die by Juan Soto here, because there's a chance, regardless of what we offer him and regardless of the position we are going to put him in when he becomes a Red Sox, that dude over in New York, that guy with the Mets, Cohen, he might give him $800 million. That is not an exaggeration. This dude is on the record saying, I will outbid any bid that comes across. I'm paraphrasing aggressively. But again, so excuse my journalism skills. But again, paraphrasing aggressively, he is on the record saying he will outbid basically any bid, if not match, anything that Juan Soto gets. He wants Juan Soto in New York. There is no way around it. And if Juan Soto wants money, and the whole emphasis on this offseason is to create a bidding war, create a false narrative that there's a chance that I go to Boston or that I go to the Blue Jays, to then create this bidding war with both New York markets and possibly even the Dodger market that we've seen to be a fugazi, fake, not real, an endless fake budget, 9999999. It keeps going until the screen ends, and then off the screen type of budget. And again, because of that, we don't know what we're going to get from Juan Soto, and because of it's a very, very, very interesting offseason. And again, the fact that it's Friday, December 6th, it seems like in the next 3 days we are going to have a massive answer. Now, to wrap up this video, I'm going to cite Jeff Passan and Buster Olney, the two of the top insiders and analysts in the game of baseball surrounding the MLB specifically. On ESPN, they produced this article where it's titled, When Will Juan Soto Sign, and How Will This Free Agency Shape the Meetings? Again, going on the quote Passan, he goes on to say, in a sea of misinformation about Soto's plan, here's the reality. The end is near. Teams engaged in a third round of Soto bidding this week, and while no deal is imminent, one could materialize before the winter meetings officially begin Monday. Whenever he goes, the contract is expected to set records for length and potentially overall value. Again, the idea of $600 million was the first number. That is long gone now. He's getting $650 plus. There's no way around it. It's probably going to be anywhere from 12 to 15 years if I had to guess. And if I had to guess on an exact number, I would say it's probably going to be like $715 million. And again, this is ridiculous. It really, really is. Now, Only goes on to say, or Buster Only goes on to say, Soto's handling of this negotiation is playing out like one of his plate appearances, an extended process, with him thoroughly processing everything that the teams are throwing at him, from their long-term plans to the state of their farm systems to how they intend to allocate payroll in the years ahead. The choices are distinct. He knows from personal experience that Aaron Judge can provide coverage for him in the lineup, in the clubhouse. The future possibilities of the Mets seem boundless because of owner Steve Cohen's wealth, but they have to construct a pipeline of pitching. Signing with the Red Sox would mean that he'd get to spend the rest of his career playing in the ballpark that I skipped a line. Arguments of greatness in left-handed hitters, from Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, David Ortiz, and Rafael Devers to... Although one evaluator notes that Soto could thrive in any ballpark. And again, that's the end of the quote from Buster Only. And again, everything said here was pretty damn accurate. It's just there's a few moving pieces that are good for all teams, and then there's a few moving bad pieces for all teams, considered an attempt to go out and get Juan Soto. And because of that, this is going to be a shit show. And I can't wait, if we're being honest. Now, to wrap up this video, I will quickly say, hey, the Red Sox have a chance to be one of the top spenders this offseason, which would be absolutely massive, not only for Red Sox the organization overall, because we'd then be acquiring a bunch of new talent, but because, again, we have the narrative of us being cheap and not wanting to spend any money and just choosing not to spend any money has been so frequent, and it's been so frustrating to deal with as a Red Sox supporter, a Red Sox fan. And now it seems like something is going to change, and we are going to make massive moves. At least make just go out and make the opportunity and just attack it like we do have a chance to do it. And again, we have the A's and the Angels, and two of the top spenders this season. Don't tell me the Red Sox don't have a chance to spend money. There is a serious chance we're the top spender this year, and I hope we are, because that would result in good stuff for the Red Sox going into the next season. That'll be it for this episode of Red Sox Digest. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.